Aren't you tired of everyone telling you what's right and what's wrong? Making the effort to convince you that what you're thinking is completely manipulated by the content you consume. Not debating in good faith, not trying to understand, just waiting for you to slip up with a comment or a joke to cast the ultimate judgment, like they know you better than you, who you are. Cancel culture and oversensitivity are the easy labels. However, these are all rights we hold and should be our starting point in self-awareness. But the real problem runs deeper. It's bias. Being sensitive and canceling people as the ethos. The hidden filter that shapes how we see, how we argue, how we know we are right. In games, in work, in politics, bias is the invisible difficulty setting nobody wants to admit exists. It is easy to play the good guy when your take makes you feel good. I can't count how many times I've made some confident middle ground statement only to realize minutes later how biased it really was. We can't handle the fact that our worldview might be contested, or even worse, erroneous. So instead of letting it go, we build arguments to defend it. And sometimes those arguments land. But let's be real, did we actually prove anything? Or did we just move the goalpost until the arena felt fair again? That's what bias does. It bends the rules, like a hidden patch running in the background of every conversation. You don't prove innocence, you make guilty impossible to believe. As a designer, or better said, in the creative professional world, just like death and taxes, we live with one guarantee. No project, no matter how perfect, escapes revisions. You can check every box, solve every problem, deliver something you're proud of, and the notes still come back. Make it bigger, make it prettier. Why that font? Our impulse to have control, to never let go of the wheel, is greater than any logical or objective truth. A person will never understand that what is presented was not a complete original concept or idea because we don't believe in magic. We can be romantic about it and passionate, of course. But for a paying customer to simply not be involved in any way throughout the process, it's simply not true. After years of trying to shrug everything off as not personal, realizing it's easy to just say people are ignorant or ego-driven, nonsensical micromanaging that obviously wastes time and that being impossible to make clear, I ultimately understood that it's just about participation. It's bias in action. The client needs to feel that they weren't left out, that they made a difference, if not the difference. Games do this too. We think we're in control, but how many times does RNG reminds us otherwise? You can grind for hours, build the perfect character, and still miss a 95% success shot attack in XCOM. The system nudges you, reminds you, no matter how complete your plan feels, bias and randomness still run the show. That's why revisions happen, not because your work failed, but because people can't accept a reality where they weren't part of the outcome. The same thing happens at scale. Outrage is everywhere, and it feels righteous, but most of the time, it's selective. We defend our side while excusing the exact same thing when our people do it. Equality loses meaning when you denounce war in one country but excuse violence in another, just because it fits your ideology. I see constant war denunciations and accusations of genocide and simultaneously justifying jihad. That's bias. Ideology muddying reality. It's like patch notes in a competitive game. When your character gets nerfed, it's unfair. When the enemy's character gets nerfed, it's justice. Same action, completely different judgment. All based on bias. Civilization only exists because everyone sacrifices. Our history is carved out of suffering. We should use our current privileged situation and access of information to work with that foundation, but instead, we keep twisting reality to justify our own victimhood, our own special exception. At the core of all of this is ego. Bias and control are just its tools. Ego hates admitting it's wrong, so it builds castles of arguments. Ego loves being the main character, so it convinces you that your struggle is more important than anyone else's. Games literally give us main character syndrome. Every RPG, every roguelike, every Souls game puts you at the center of the universe. And that's fine, in a game. But in real life, nobody else is designed to respawn just to make your story more interesting. We all have battles. You're not more important. The message is not important. The only thing that has tangible value is the fact that we have the opportunity to become better, to have a choice, to have rights. Bias hides in ego. Ego hides behind philosophy. But if you strip that away, it's the same thing. We're just trying to control the uncontrollable. What would I say to my younger, infinitely angrier self? We don't know shit. At best, we're just observers, pointing out patterns in mass population thanks to the fact that we are overindulgent. So we feel entitled to speak into people's weird behavior because we have seen weird behavior and felt weird behavior, and most of all, we'd like to talk about it endlessly. But that is just also part of being creative. That doesn't make us prophets. It just makes us curious. And curiosity is the only pact worth keeping. The pursuit of what makes us unique and the endless pursuit to deliver value. There is no moral high ground when you can't empathize with walking out on the street every day to earn your living, or when you don't have to face people you don't know and people you don't like, to work long hours that you didn't look forward to. There is just the illusion of grandeur because you have watched and read Western philosophy. I don't see anything wrong with people believing in anarchy or simply living for themselves as they make their way in this world. Just be able to recognize, or don't forget, the privileged position you hold when you are that person. Your chaotic neutral mentality only rests on the backs of people who don't get to choose. Otherwise, you're just an asshole. Let's break the cycle and give this video a like, or show your bias to independent creators with a subscribe. Let me know you're also in an endless state of pursuing meaningful connections and purpose in the mundane. I appreciate it. Bias is unavoidable. Control is an illusion. Ego will always hide them both. But if we can at least admit that truth, we can see our own filters. Then bias stops being just a weakness. It becomes a checkpoint, a moment to reset. In games, in work, in life, You don't escape bias, but you can learn to recognize when it's playing you. Thank you for listening. I'll see you on the next one.